What's up everybody, welcome back to the Vegan Test Kitchen. If you're anything like me, all you can think about on the weekends are biscuits and sausage gravy. So since today is Saturday, that's what we're making. From scratch, home-style biscuits and a vegan sausage gravy. As always, all the ingredients that you need are listed below. Let's get started. Now the first thing we're gonna do is make our biscuits. And these are actually called healthy-ish biscuits because we're mixing a little bit of whole wheat flour in there with the all-purpose. It's gonna give a little bit more added nutrients and protein, but they're still gonna taste fantastic. So the first thing we're gonna do is put in a measuring cup, 1.5 cups of non-dairy milk of your choosing. I'm using almond milk. And then we're gonna add to that 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. It's gonna add a little bit of extra flavor and give it a little bit of a buttermilk taste. And we're just gonna let that curdle for about 5 minutes. All right, and while our milk is sitting, we are going to set our oven to 425. Now in a large mixing bowl, we're gonna put our all-purpose flour along with our whole wheat flour, and we're gonna add in our baking powder, salt, and sugar. You wanna make sure this is nice and mixed, and then we're gonna create a well in the middle. And before we get too far into this, we're gonna go ahead and line a cookie sheet with parchment paper. All right, let's go ahead and add our curdled milk to our dry ingredients, along with our oil. So this was a healthy-ish biscuit, not healthy. And we are going to stir this until it just starts to combine and forms into a dough. You don't want to overwork this. Okay, I think we're looking good. So we're gonna set this off to the side and prepare our working area. And we are going to turn our biscuit dough out onto the surface. We're just gonna lightly knead it, maybe just 3 or 4 times. Again, we don't wanna overwork it, because then we're gonna have a dense biscuit. Nobody likes that. We just want this to come together. Okay, and we are not gonna use a rolling pin. We are just going to pat this out until about a 1/2 inch thickness. So you don't wanna overwork this. Did I mention you don't wanna overwork it? Another trick is to make sure when you put the biscuit cutter down, you don't twist it. Don't twist it, because then you'll seal the sides and it prevents it from rising as much as it could. So we're just gonna flat, drop down, and then you have your biscuit. Now, as you see from how I laid them out, you want to make sure that they each touch. That way, they rise a little bit more evenly and higher. And we're going to bake these for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until they start to brown a little bit, then you know they're done. And if you want to make your biscuits even better, brush melted vegan butter on top of them as soon as they get out of the oven. All right, it's gonna be really hard for me not to eat this entire tray, so let's get started on the gravy. All right, now to make this gravy, we're gonna grab a large pan, put it on a medium heat, and then once we're good and preheated, we're gonna add probably 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and we're gonna cook our sausage. Now, I like LightLife Gimme Lean Sausage. It's my favorite crumbleable sausage that's out there. And we are only putting in about half of this, so usually about 4 to 6 sausages will do. We're gonna cook this for about 5 to 10 minutes until it gets a little bit browned. All right, we got some brown bits in here, so we're gonna take this off the heat. All right, into this pan, we're gonna add our remaining olive oil, about 3 to 4 tablespoons. We're gonna stick this on a low heat. And to this, we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of flour. What we're gonna do with this is whisk this until this becomes kind of a golden brown. You wanna make sure to whisk it a decent amount because you don't want it to stick and burn on the bottom. Essentially, we're making a roux. We're cooking the flour down to make sure it doesn't have that flour doughy taste. And then, of course, this is also what's gonna thicken the gravy. All right, we've cooked this for about 10 minutes. We want to make sure that it is starting to bubble a little bit. Then we're going to add in our spices, our thyme, rosemary, and sage. We just want to bloom these a little bit. Once this is cooked for about 30 seconds to a minute, we're going to add half of our non-dairy milk. I like almond milk personally. I think it gives a good flavor. Use whatever you like best. Just make sure whatever milk you use is unsweetened. And of course you want to make sure that you are whisking as soon as you pour in, because you don't want it to be clumpy. And then we're going to pour the rest in. We're going to continue to cook this on a low to medium heat until it starts to thicken up quite a bit. All right, after we're nice and whisked, we are going to add in our other spices, so our salt, pepper, and a little bit of crushed pepper if you like it just a tinge spicy. Personally, I have to have a decent amount of black pepper in my gravy. Now obviously you want to stir this every so often, make sure it doesn't burn. All right, we're starting to thicken a little bit, so we're going to add in our sausage. And we're going to cook this the rest of the way until it's to a thickness that you like. The biscuits have a lovely texture. The gravy is so flavorful. There's nothing more to say. This is delicious vegan biscuits and sausage gravy. All right, y'all, if you want a fantastic weekend, you gotta make these. You won't regret it. I hope you liked what you saw today. If you did, hit a thumbs up. I would love you for it. Make sure to subscribe and share and comment and all that good stuff. I'll see y'all next time.